they're seeing Israeli forces expanding the ground offensive into central Gaza amid some of the most intense fighting of this war so far. Can you walk us through what we can expect next from the IDF in their fight against Hamas and Hezbollah, these terrorists?
Absolutely. So we're getting to the hardest part of their campaign into Gaza right now. What we have seen is they've got firm control of the northern sector. They have control of Jabalia. And so now Han Yunis is where the center of gravity clearly is. There are so many leaders from Hamas there. There's intelligence to be gathered. And so if a successful campaign now really starts to break the back of Hamas, and then what's left is a cleanup and leadership operations that they have to get to. But it's going well for the IDF so far. They are taking quite a few casualties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fred, you wrote a piece for American Greatness. I'm going to take an excerpt from it here. If there is a new administration in January 2025, it will have its work cut out for it to reverse the damage done to U.S. intelligence agencies by DEI and woke personnel policies begun by the Obama administration, which continue today. So how are diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives impacting American foreign policy, Fred?
You know, we all want to see fairness and diversity in government agencies. We want equal opportunity. But something appalling happened recently when a fairly junior CIA employee who became the number 2 of the analyst office, meaning she was overseeing thousands of analysts, and she also was editor of the Presidential Daily Brief. She posted pro-Hamas propaganda on her Facebook page after the October 7th terrorist attacks by Hamas in Israel. Now, I was with the CIA for 19 years. And ordinarily, you couldn't get into these jobs without a huge amount of experience and expertise, especially editor of the Presidential Daily Brief, arguably the most important intelligence product the CIA produces. Yeah. But this person was pushed up the line for DEI reasons. And frankly, this is someone who shouldn't have been hired by the CIA in the first place. And after I wrote this piece, CIA officers, former officers, all over the place reached out to me and said how the personnel system has been distorted. It started with John Brennan. People are being promoted for political reasons and for social engineering reasons under DEI. I think the damage to CIA has been severe.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is pretty shocking how many of these people have gotten promoted, and certainly the bodies, whether it's the CIA, FBI, and now we're even turning to the UN, how they've responded. General Holt, the UN Security Council passed a resolution demanding safe and unhindered delivery of humanitarian assistance at scale for Gaza. President Biden on Saturday said he did not ask for a ceasefire from Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu amid Israeli military operations in Gaza. Do you see the Biden administration standing firmly with Israel at this point?
Well, we haven't yet. In name only, in words only, they'll abstain a vote here or veto a vote there. They'll say we stand with Israel, and at the same time publicly excoriate Israeli decisions, and they're presumptive that the Hamas Ministry of Health has the casualty counts correct, and that I think in their terms, Israel was involved in potential indiscriminate killing. Nothing could be further from the truth. And what it does is it fuels this information war against the IDF at a time when the world is really coalescing around this information war against the IDF. And what it's going to do is drag us into a much bigger regional war, because this is going to escalate, not de-escalate, something that should be taken care of just in Gaza.
Yeah, and Fred, we just learned a few minutes ago the IDF found 5 hostages dead inside a tunnel. Talks of a ceasefire are going on many sides, but is that even possible right now when we're finding dead hostages?
Well, we're hearing from the press that the Biden administration wants to wind this war down quickly, and the Washington Post says today that the Biden administration is trying to train the Palestinian Authority to take over government of Gaza after the war is over in a few weeks, except Israel's not on board with that. The Israelis are making it clear this will be a war of months, not weeks. But the Biden administration is desperate to stop it. And from your last segment, when we see these enormous protests in New York, protesters stopping people from going to the airport in Chicago just before Christmas, this is enormous political liability for Joe Biden. He's desperate to end the war, but Israel is not going to do so until it is certain that its security has been guaranteed.
That's right.